This week's episode of Mind Gap Podcast is brought to you by Never Gray for Men. Time is ravaging your body. It's totally happening right now. I mean, just look. I bet you can see wrinkles, you can feel some aches, and most depressing of all, I bet you can find some gray hairs. It used to be when you found a gray hair, you had 10 days to report to the government before being put in a euthanasia camp, or you'd have to go on the run as the gray hunters tracked you down for the rest of your life. Now, with Never Gray for Men, you can avoid this scenario entirely. With your monthly subscription, you'll be provided with your Erase the Gray kit. Simply pluck out your gray hair and replace it with hair provided by Never Gray using the Insta-Stitch technology to infuse the new hair into your skin. Want to know the best part? Since the new hair isn't yours, if anyone ever pulls a hair from your body, there's a chance it will be the DNA of someone else. Take that, Patriot Act! Head on over to nevergraynever.com today and subscribe. Enter the code MINDGAP at checkout to receive a free set of hair from either Doug or Justin. Never let gray hair end your life with Never Gray for Men. Hey dorks, just a quick message reminding you to head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast and give us a follow. We live stream when we record our new podcast episodes, and we're live streaming video game sessions on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We're playing super rad stuff like Among Us, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, Jackbox games, and Tabletop Simulator. Come hang out and play along with us. That's twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Happy new podcast episode day! On this week's episode, Justin shares his sadness in finding a gray hair in his sideburns. We break down the new movie trailer for Tenet. I put Justin in the hot seat and make him choose which of his 3 greatest fears he must face for 24 hours, and we take a fan question. We covered so much in so little time, so saddle up, check your ammo, and get ready to face your fears in episode 249 of Mind Gap Podcast.
Mind Gap Podcast.
So much thanks to give. So many thanks to give because of all you, because of you listeners, because of you on Twitch.
Let me give you this. Why is there so much thanks to give, Doug?
We're officially Twitch affiliates. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh wait, did I do the wrong one?
Oh, we can do both. We can do both. Why not both, right? They both work.
I will haunt your butt.
Darn right. Darn tootin', they say.
This is the quality you've come to understand from someone who's a Twitch affiliate.
You're goddamn right. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who followed us. Thank you to everyone who is subscribed and is subscribing literally as we speak.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what a lot of the stuff is yet. What just happened across the screen? I just saw something that said the hype train. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You know, when all this happened, I'm not gonna lie. When this unlocked a whole level of shit I've barely been able to fully understand. I spent some time making emotes, so there's that. Holy shit. So thank you to Chelios for your subscription. Thank you to Sir Lauren 84. Thank you to @Noah Reno. You all are wonderful. We appreciate you. And please bear with us as we try to figure out how to incorporate all this stuff into what we do on a regular basis. So no doubt the things that I've sort of looked into and activated will come back to bite me in the ass in due time.
Undoubtedly.
Because there's going to be some things that we can do while we record the podcast, and there's other things that, we'll prefer to do while we're playing video games and everything else that we're doing. While we're podcasting, I've got some points running down here. I probably won't necessarily, let you redeem any of that shit while we're recording. Maybe will. Who knows? So
I don't know what that means.
Exactly. So all I'm saying is just be patient with us as we try to roll this stuff out. We're doing our best.
Don't forget, we are 37 essentially a piece. Like, so we're, as far as Twitch goes, we're old men.
We are old.
So we need to, You need to give us a lot of runway with this.
You just have no idea what sort of stuff. It's like, congrats. I'm like, all right, cool. I imagine this is just a tiny glimpse of what it's like to be like, I don't know, an NFL draftee or something like that. You're like, yay. And then it's
That's
like,
so far off.
now the work starts, motherfucker. And it's like, I get all these emails. It's like, hey, you could do stuff with your chat now. I'm like, what? What do I do? It's like, you can have all these things. I'm like, I don't know what this means. I mean, we had to do tax shit, that's, Noah Reno.
There's nothing more 37 years old than tax shit.
And Noah Reno's like, that's exactly what it's like. I know, right? It's exactly
Just being
what it's like.
Drafted in the NFL.
Yeah.
This is exactly what it feels like.
Yeah. But I just got to say, seriously, thank you all so much. We had an amazing video game stream on Saturday. We played Joke Boat. We hands down had the most views that we've ever had. We had the most active, the highest chat. We had an absolute blast. Can't wait to drop the highlight reel from that.
It was a blast, man.
That was a real good time.
And pushed us far over the top of what we needed. So, yeah, again, a huge thanks to everybody.
Yeah, so it was a
Noah
lot of
Reno
fun.
says, damn it, would have loved to have been there. You will get another chance, so don't worry.
We're going to have some more stuff. I'm definitely looking into having some more, different games into our rotation, which actually is a good segue into this coming Saturday. I'm trying out a new game. I found it last night. I'm going through all these different lists of what are some great games that have Twitch integration. And this one is called One Troll Army, right? Everyone's heard of this game. But it's pretty cool. It's basically like a tower defense game. I'm a sucker for tower defense games. Essentially, the way that it is it's a defense game where the streamer is a giant troll in charge of defending a goblin town. And everyone in chat controls AI characters trying to kill the troll and destroy the town. So the chat commands apparently are pretty straightforward, and they tell the AI what to do. So you can select a character class, tell the character where to go. If they want him to attack the troll, attack the town. And it's worth noting that in 2018, the developers said they'd make the game free if the viewers in their Twitch chat could beat them. And the viewers won, so the game is now free on Steam. So
I will give them massive credit for standing up to that and honoring that, because very easily they could have gone, we didn't think that was going to happen, and they went, you guys beat us fair and square. And in the world of gaming, that is as good as a legal binding contract.
Well, it's funny because there's actually a video of it happening, and I watched it today, and it's really funny because right out the gate, the developer was talking some shit. He's like, oh man, you guys have to do better than that. And then all of a sudden, by the end of it, he's like, because he said there's 8 hours on the clock. He goes, every time you guys do something, there's a counter at the bottom with how much it was going to cost $10 for the game. He goes, every time you succeed, that dollar amount's going to go down. And he goes, every time I succeed, it's going to go back up. So he goes, if you can get this counter down to 0 within the allotted time, this game will be free. I think in just over 4 hours, they were able to beat the developer. So it was kind of interesting. So D. Cochran 84, thank you for the subscription. Very kind of you.
Slutty Bartfest says, wait. So this game, if I'm hearing this right, Doug will be a giant troll on Saturday? Question mark.
You are correct, sir. I will be a giant troll, and your objective will be to try and destroy my goblin town.
Right.
That sounds like a euphemism, but
that old chestnut.
Dude, did you get in there to that girl's goblin town? You know I did.
Yeah. This is just turning into a morning madhouse. That's all this is.
I know that one particularly. And Noah Reno says he's a giant troll every day, but Saturday we get to fight back. So sounds like a
people don't have that opportunity.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. I have no idea. I mean, this could be a giant shit show, but if you guys want to come help me test it out, I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be fun. And I think it gets ranked by which viewer does the most damage or is the most nuisance. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We'll figure it out together. So this Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time, come hang out on twitch.tv/mindgappodcast, and we'll have ourselves some fun. So again, big thank you to all of you for hanging out with us and making this journey happen. We started out on Twitch, I don't even remember when, but it was just kind of like speaking,
a while ago.
Speaking into the abyss.
A while ago.
We were just shouting into the void. We're like, hi, we're in the basement of a bar. Come watch us. And you guys have hung around. So thank you so much for that. It means a lot.
You guys have made this something special, so we really appreciate it. I mentioned that we're 37. I'm very upset because my body's dying. I found a very long, very predominant gray hair today, and I'm not pleased with it, Doug.
I mean, I'd say welcome to the club, but this has been me. I mean, I'm like the reverse Benjamin Button, you know? I'm just aging fast.
Like you just age regular?
I age regular, like fast. I guess that's not Benjamin. That's not Benjamin Button.
The reverse Benjamin Button would be everybody. That's just normal person.
Yeah, it's just a normal
aging.
person. Yeah. I've had gray hairs for a while, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I haven't. I mean, look at my beard, man. I got this.
No,
nice
I know, but you
salt
wear
and
it
pepper.
well. Like,
Well,
and
thank you.
also you're a dad. I'm not a dad, so I shouldn't have gray hairs.
I also know exactly what I'm going to look
downtown
like.
Dude.
If you guys see a picture of my dad, you'll know exactly what I'm going to look like. Same thing, like with my brother and I, we're like, we look at our dad, we're like, we know exactly. The three of us together, people are like, you're related. Yeah, exactly. We are.
There's no question about that.
There's no question whose balls we came from. It was this man right here. So
my dad went gray real early too, but I think they say that don't you typically take after, I think it's your maternal grandfather. I think that's genetically where the hair trait comes down.
sure.
I don't know. My mom's dad had a real good head of hair. He had color for a long time. Do you remember what the first time you found a gray hair? Like for me, you know me, I'm so terrified of death. Like it's constant every day. I think of it more than I should. And finding this, it did not do good to my psyche.
Whereas I welcome it. I'm like, come here, death. Put me out of my misery.
Horrible. Can I have some of your life force then?
Can you share some of it with me?
Can you please give me some? Because I'm running out, apparently.
Well, I mean, I don't remember when I got it because it was that long ago. I was like, oh yeah. I remember it was pretty funny because I forget what it was. I mean, it's just like I've been massively hairy my whole life too. So like I turned into a bear real early on, and then it's just like, you know, gray hairs. I'm like, yeah, it's happening. I got them on my chest hair. I got them obviously on my face. I got them on my butt. I got them everywhere, man. Like it's happening.
A gray butt hair has to be weird.
No, sounds about right. I mean, it's on par.
Just
you know?
thinking about I don't know. I know it's normal just because hair starts losing color, but just thinking of a gray butt hair is very weird.
Yeah, it sounds good.
There's
to
the
me.
pull quote for tonight. Thinking of a gray butt hair is weird.
It's weird. Yeah, maybe
No,
maybe we could add that to the soundboard.
There you go. No, legitimately though, like it was one of those really weird, I don't know, like it really, like I sat there in the mirror, I stared at it and I went, wow, like my body is really, it's just stopping making that thing I need for, you know, hair color, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It really was like a I don't know, just a weird wake up call. Like, especially with me and my mentality, it had me thinking.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I had one of those moments essentially, like when my dad. I used to walk around the house all the time with my shirt off because I'm a man, and I remember my dad going like, I started having some chest hair, and my dad goes, "Oh, wow, you got chest hair a year before I did," which at the time I didn't think about that. I'm like, that's weird. You know exactly when you got chest hair. But I looked at my dad, who's this bushy beast, and he's like, "You got chest hair a year before I did," and I was like, oh God, like this is what I get to look forward to is this. I'm like, no. So that's about
when we did that old man picture of you. Remember when I oldified and you?
I look like my dad.
Yeah, and you were like, oh my God, that is my dad.
Yeah, 100%. I look just like my dad. So like, man, what are you gonna do? You know?
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, at D Cochran 84 says you have to embrace the gray. 100%. You gotta it's just like going bald. Like
I get it.
I knew exactly where that was going. My mom sent me a picture this weekend of me when I was like, it was 2005 or 2006, and I could already tell like the hair was thinning. Like I don't know.
Right.
It was. There's pictures of me. It's just like the second that the mistakenly like basically just shaved my head at a hair salon. And I realized I leaned into it. I was like, oh, this is who I am through and through. There's no need to hide it. There's no need to, like, I personally will never color my beard. I will never do anything like that because I'm like, this is who I am. Like, this is now for some people, I get it. Like, you know, some folks are like, I don't want my hair to be gray or whatever. That's totally cool. For me, I'm like, whatever, man. This is who I am. So
right.
It is what it is. So I'm not going to be like, I need this to be. I mean, what color would I even do? Like,
I'm not saying I'm going to dye it. I'm just saying it's just a startling reminder of my mortality.
Yeah, exactly.
Just screaming at me in the mirror.
It's like, you are getting old now.
Yeah, you're going to die.
Well, and Noah Reno, I said, what do I dye it? And Noah Reno says ginger. I mean, I did have flecks of red because I'm Scottish. So I did have some of that. It was like a dirty blonde. I guess it was darker brown. I don't even remember what it was anymore.
I inexplicably have a red beard when it fully grows out. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not Scottish.
Is that the Swedish in you?
Sure. Why not?
Pick one. Why not?
Pick one. I'm a mutt. It could be one of many things.
I'm a mutt, y'all.
What you should do, Doug, is you should literally just paint your head red.
There we go.
Try to paint hair on it. Just see what that would look like.
Yeah, no, I feel like that would be like.
Can I do that the next time I see you?
To some person somewhere.
You can't do that. You're not a redhead.
You're bald. You're not allowed to do that.
Oh.
Like, yeah, true. Decock Grenade Force says, at my last job, we had an assistant principal who would color his beard over the summer and by the end of the year be super gray again. Thought that was pretty funny. See, what we're seeing in the chat right now is an example of points being used where Noah Reno highlighted their text, and I'm like, that's something you could do. Congrats. Way to go. Thank you for cashing it in.
Not only did he highlight the text, but he says, this message is highlighted. Get over it.
Yep. And now we are over it.
And now we're over it. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got the gray hair. I know that's...
there's probably more that I just haven't noticed, but this one was like... It was aggressively gray.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had those. It got to the point where I'd be like, oh, boop, I'll just take you out. But now I'm like, there's a lot more of them. And pretty soon I'll be like, the black ones have to go. Boop, because I want it all to be the same.
Right. You tipped this. You went critical mass and you had to go the other route. Yeah.
And actually, and to go back, Two Good Hips asked, like, where did you find this hair? Was it a pubic hair? Was it a chest hair?
Definitely was not a pubic hair. All colorful down there. It was.
It's a rainbow.
It was right here on my right sideburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that was
Maybe I'll post a picture of it to MindGap social media. Just keep an eye out, everyone. Follow us.
Yeah, at MindGap Podcast on all social medias.
We have engaging content.
We do. Maybe we'll make a T-shirt design out of it,
It just says aggressively gray.
What it'll say is Justin's mortality, and that's what it'll say on it.
Jared, you are very correct. I still have not grown pubes, and it's one day I'll get there. I'm pretty confident.
There's something to be said on people who don't grow hair that well, or people who overly grow hair. You got to find that nice balance,
Yeah. Doug, you're hydrating really well tonight. I'm very proud.
Thank you very much. Very much.
I feel like that was a subtle nod to address how much you're hydrating.
All I'm saying is that I honored a request. That's all I did. So
sippy cup.
All right.
Oh, is that? I didn't even see the request come in. Oh my God, we've got to really pay attention to this now.
Yep. So I've got more screens open than normal to deal with these things. So this is I'm gonna
have to come to this podcast now with two cups of water just to make sure that we can fulfill all the requests.
Because I think that's what's great about this is that they're cashing it in, so we should both do it.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
FYI, there are some physical activities for us to do.
And here's the thing, I'm gonna say too, Doug set these up, so I have no idea what's coming when you guys cash.
There's nothing too crazy in here, but It's good, but thank you for making sure we're hydrating. I got a big old jug just in case.
Posture check. Now I got to do this. I got to lift the mic up.
Thank you, Cellos. Thank you very much. So you had some cool stuff that you wanted to talk about tonight. One of them being Tenet, which
So the teaser dropped, and you and I were super excited for that, and we were like, holy shit, Christopher Nolan playing with time travel. Like, he already did Interstellar, and he played with time and space a little bit. This one full on is like time reversal, and it's got John David Washington, and it looks really cool. The teaser did. I learned that the full trailer dropped because of MindGap's social media feeds. I did not realize it dropped. I saw, we posted something. I looked. I'm like, now I got to check this out. I sat for 2.5 minutes with my brow furrowed and just going, huh. And I was so confused. So confused. Did a little digging, and it turns out I wasn't the only one. John David Washington agrees this movie fucking confusing. So IGN posted an article where he admits that the movie plot confused the cast, and he had to continually ask Christopher Nolan, okay, can you explain to me what's happening here and why? And he said Christopher Nolan was very gracious, as we can imagine. He was very calm and patient and talked, but he said every single day the cast and crew had questions about, huh?
Well, I have to say, I love the trailer. I love the teaser. I love the new trailer, and I like the look of Christopher Nolan's movies. I feel like for anyone who's curious in the Twitch chat, I posted a link to the trailer in case you want to take a look at it. It's one of those things where this reminds me so much of Inception. Inception is one of my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely love it. And it's definitely. I remember watching Inception in my hometown of Kirksville, Missouri, with my brother, and I think with Jill and with my dad. And when that movie was over, I just remember getting up and like we were all like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" And there was a woman behind us as we got up. She goes, "I didn't understand shit." Like she was just like so confused about the movie, and it made me laugh so hard because I was like, "What are you talking about? This movie was great," but that was a little tough to follow, right? I feel like this, and then there was Interstellar, which is even more like, huh? And now I feel like this is like the next level up from there, and I love everything about it. I love the way that it's. I mean, I can't imagine storyboarding this. Like, there's a few movies out there where I'm like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Inception.
Have you seen Christopher Nolan explain Memento?
Oh God, no.
That's
another one, right? Because actually that was just film. It was all in the editing process for that one, but I'm sure, trying to explain it or pitch it would have been crazy.
There's an 18-minute video, and if I can find it while we're talking here, I will post it to the Twitch stream. Actually, Doug, if you can find it, because anything that pops up on my Chrome will automatically start playing through the stream. So
brag.
It's an 18-minute video of him in front of a chalkboard, and he draws out, very similar, Doug, to how MindGap started. He draws out the story / timeline and proceeds to explain it, quote unquote, very clearly. And it is the most batshit convoluted, crazy thing you've ever seen.
Right.
I feel like Christopher Nolan is just seeing, like, every movie he does is like, how can we fuck with the audience even more?
Well, I think it's funny because what I like about him is it's funny because I feel like in an alternate universe, or really not too even probably in this universe, I could easily dislike him because he's very close to being pretentious.
Well, I mean, more than one person's called him an auteur.
Yeah, but I feel like, to me, what he really likes to do is just storytelling wise. I mean, the guy tells interesting stories to me, in my mind. Like the stories that he's telling, I'm like, I'm in, man. Like Memento. I remember watching that movie and just being like, whoa, this is unlike anything I'd ever seen at the time. Yeah. And then you've got, again, you've got your, Dark Knight, what he's done with Batman was very interesting.
It's a great reimagination of the character, or the story, yeah. And
then, of course, Inception and Interstellar and all those things. I'm just like, what was the World War II one he did?
Dunkirk.
Yeah. Like, just very good, enjoyable storytelling. And it's one of those things where I find it so fascinating because these are not easy things to tackle from a storytelling perspective, also visually. Like, he just does a really good job of, like, Inception, just dealing with the creativity of letting Hans Zimmer take that one song and slow it down to the point where it became like that very pulsing part of the score for the film,
like
and just
tone.
the idea of like what's happening up here is also happening at this lower level, and then like you're just like watching, going like, I remember seeing the teaser for Inception, being like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, it's because it was the scene where the room starts to spin and Joseph Gordon-Levitt starts like climbing up the walls. I'm like, what is this? And I feel like this is very, very similar to that, where you're watching this stuff. It's like, what's happening? He's like, it hasn't happened yet. And then I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Time out. What?
Right. Yeah. How did this? Yeah. What happened here? It hasn't happened yet. I'm like, come on. Doing? I want to. It's his stuff is very cerebral. Like I told Bet actually while I'm talking about this, if you could look up and post to the Twitch chat. You guys are getting a ton of shit tonight. It's Honest Trailers did a special every Christopher Nolan movie, and it was one trailer for every Christopher Nolan movie.
There we go. I got it.
Yeah. You guys will enjoy this. But I just showed Beth Interstellar for the first time, and I told her this is one of those where now she sometimes has a penchant for falling asleep while we're watching a movie, and I told her you very much need to stay awake, and this requires every ounce of attention you have, because if you miss, it's going to be like, wait, what are they doing? Why is Matt Damon being an asshole? Why did he blow?
Matt Damon?
What?
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. He's in that movie.
Yeah. I was like,
I forgot.
He's in that movie. Yeah. It's just his movies do require an insane amount of focus.
Yeah. At Noah Reno says Tenet's extremely wacky. Tenet basically goes from wacky to absolutely bonkers. And he says Tenet's about that parallel dimension where physics is backwards or whatever. And then he just goes, I just graduated. I'm not trying to do homework. It's very fair. But it's I love an interesting story, because I feel like this should appeal to you as well, because you and I have talked recently about how a lot of things just seem very safe, right? Like a lot of what I like about what Christopher Nolan does, especially with Inception, was, and the reason why I thought it was so important that it was successful is it was an original idea. Like,
yes,
I say that in quotes because some people say it's based on a DuckTales story or a Donald Duck comic or whatever. But anyway, the idea being like it's not based on a comic book or anything like that. It was an original sci-fi idea that was very successful, because a lot of things don't do that well with that now. And so same thing with Tenet. And Inception didn't have a sequel. It was a standalone movie, which nowadays is pretty unique. When you think of that blockbuster type movie that just sort of happens and then that's it.
Yeah, they want to franchise everything. So for him to be able to pull off a big blockbuster standalone movie, that speaks to the trust that the studios have with him, for sure.
Yeah.
I will give him credit in the sense that look, I like most Christopher Nolan movies I've seen, so I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying this is going to be a bad movie. I'm just saying this is one where I don't think the trailer does the movie. I think the trailer actually pulls from the movie. Because I'm sure the movie's going to be great once you can see it in its entirety. Like top to bottom, beginning to end, you'll have a real good idea of what you just watched. But watching a trailer for it, it's nonsense. It's just insanity.
Well, see, that's what I love about it, is because there's so much in it that, again, I could just as easily hate this. I could see myself just one thing just too far or whatever. I'd be like, man, fuck this movie, But like how they mentioned the word,
you would never do that though, because Christopher Nolan has built up enough goodwill. So I think he could make a polished turd, and I think you would honestly still give him a little bit of leeway. Well,
here's the thing, Justin. Madness. I just forgot the line. It's like gravity. All it takes is just a little push. It's just like. Someone could just like, M. Night Shyamalan was everyone's darling, and then all of a sudden he did Avatar.
Very true.
The Last Airbender, and that was it, man. But then he kind of bounced back a little bit, so good for him. But just the idea that, it's the same thing with, it just reminds me so much of Inception in the sense that, like, in that trailer, too, it was like Inception. It's like they say the word, you're like, I don't know what the fuck Inception means. Like, I have no idea.
It's true.
And it's the same thing as this. It's like Tenet. That's the only thing I can tell you. It'll open some doors, the right ones, and also some of the wrong ones. You're like, what does it mean? Tell me more. I need to know what Tenet means. Like, you're saying all this weird stuff, and it's like,
right.
Robert Pattinson's driving, and all of a sudden a car flips, and it's just, I don't know, man. Like, it just looks just very, 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 very interesting. So, I love it.
Yeah, I go ahead.
Jervis says, are there going to be a few blarps in the film? Thank you. Nice job. You're ready for that.
Thank you.
Because that's what we go to Nolan films for. No, that's what you go to Hans Zimmer scored films for.
Oh,
that's what he's known
well
for.
played.
Yes. Hans Zimmer's pretty good at that sort of stuff. And at Noah Reno says, the line is madness. This is Sparta. Yes, I am a nerd, Jervis. Yeah. I am a score nerd, especially Hans Zimmer.
You really are. Did you watch that video I sent you today?
I didn't think that was a video. I
didn't send you a video.
It was just a still.
It was a still. Were you interested in it? Because I can get you that video.
Of course. I've there's one thing I always used to joke with you. I was like, who the hell's going to watch a 2-minute ad before a YouTube video? And then I watch every single ad in its entirety for every masterclass that shows up. I'm just like, ooh, what's this about? And I've seen the Hans Zimmer one a billion times where I'm just like, I love what this guy does. Like, I love his approach to it. And it fascinates me, the idea of someone sitting down, getting handed either a script or however they do it in the process. And they're like, make music for this. Yeah. And to have them be like, cool. Or the idea of how he came up with the theme for Joker. I remember listening to this. He just sent, I think it was something like hours upon hours of just samples for the Joker. And Christopher Nolan was flying, I think, cross continent or something like that. It was an international flight, and he had his iPod on, and he was just like playing the music. He said he's just these horrific, just unsettling sounds, just nonstop of Hans like, here, try this. And then he just ultimately settled on an electric cello to get that sort of thing, and just like how he's just slowly moved up the octaves and just created this really unsettling tension, like with that character. And that's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Like, oh, God damn it. I knew this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. So I would say let's go into the left arm, okay?
Okay. All right.
Left arm. And I got a little something for us here. Ready?
All right.
In 3, 2, 1. You're welcome.
All right. So if you're listening, someone just redeemed some points. We had to dab. So there we go. Points redeemed. Thank you for making us do that.
This podcast is quickly becoming split between listeners and viewers.
Yes. So I'm just saying, if you're just a listener, thank you. But also, come check us out on Twitch, because it's getting interesting, to say the least.
It's a whole thing now.
I will say this much. I did put limitations on some of these things, so
good.
They can't be done all the time.
Thank God.
Thank you, at Noah Reno. He's like, epic. Yes, it's very epic. I appreciate that. And we can come up with our own, too. We can sort of customize them as we go.
Ooh,
but
I like it. Can one of them have Justin show us his newest gray hair?
Yeah, we could.
Cool.
I mean, we could just set the point total, and then there it goes.
You're welcome, guys.
It'll be very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to see this movie. The trailer has me. I guess I got to give it. I got it. The point that you brought up regarding Inception's trailer being a little out there as well. It's point taken. I forgot about how weird the Inception trailer was. So, and the fact that they said it and you were like, what does that mean? And then it wasn't explained. So, I guess I just have to wait for this movie to come out, because right now I know I'm gonna like it, but I don't know, man. I can't figure it out. I just can't figure it out for the life of me.
Yeah, I think what I also find interesting about this is that Nolan is obviously a huge proponent of the movie theater experience. Like, he is. I read something today that he's adamant that this is only it has to be shown in theaters. Like, it absolutely has to. It won't be early.
Right. Well, do you think, because that's interesting that he now is like, he's making a stand. Like certain, we talked about Universal making a stand of like, we're going to release Trolls and we might do this more often. And he seems like he's a very like theater purist.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he wrote an op-ed, I think, in the New York Times about how as the pandemic starts winding down, like how important it is that we go and we basically help the movie theaters, because it's so important. And I know for him, like things like IMAX and that whole experience is incredibly important. Yeah. I mean, just the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, if he could, he would do IMAX and everything, but obviously IMAX those cameras are so ridiculously loud that you can't do them for the dialogue. But for him, it's a very specific experience that he's looking for, and in his mind, you probably can't capture it on just your regular TV. So
now.
So Jervis just said, just FYI, Twitch is super easy to capture good stuff, so apparently he just caught us dabbing. So thank you very much. That's a great clip, I hope. So thank you very much for that.
Good things.
Thanks for doing the work for us.
But is this something, knowing that the filmmaker's like, you need to see this in theaters, is this something that would inform your viewing habits and push you to the theater, or would you still say, you know what? I'm not going to the theater. I do want to see this. If given the option, I'll watch it at home.
I would love to see this, because the thing is, like, I shit all over the movie theaters not that long ago, in the last couple episodes ago, but it's just because the business model to me is outdated. It's coming from a plebe, a peasant, a standard casual observer of the industry. It just feels old and outdated. I'm not in it, so I don't understand it. But even when we talked with Chris Charles, and how we talked about how those sorts of things are really important for some of those indie films and things like that to get the credibility that it needs. But for me, like, I love going to the movies. Like, it's especially for something like Tenet. I would love to go to see the movies. I would absolutely. It's the same reason why I watched The Hobbit in 60 frames per second. Like, I want to make sure I could see it. Or was it 48 frames? I think it was
48.
48, yeah. It was in 48 frames per second, because I'm like, cool. That's the reason why when I did see it once and only once, the movie Avatar, and I watched it in 3D because James Cameron built that movie for 3D. So, like, I kind of want to see it from the directors, like, what's their ideal state to watch it, which is also why I saw The Dark Knight Rises in IMAX, because that's what Christopher Nolan's like, this is what I want my film to be. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to try and see it in the way that they most likely intended it to be, so I could see if the if it has an effect, or if I can understand it. Sometimes I'm like, it didn't really. I'm too much of a moron to be like, yeah, it was worth it. I'm like, IMAX, I don't need it. I'm fine. I'm fine without it.
So when you saw Dark Knight Rises in IMAX, you didn't really see the necessity for it?
I mean, there's some pretty cool sweeping shots, especially like in the beginning of that film, like when they're on the plane.
Airplane.
It was pretty awesome, but also it was incredibly distracting, because in that theater at that time, the IMAX, it was like IMAX and then widescreen, and then IMAX and then widescreen.
Really?
So it was like, it was very distracting to me that it was like going in between. I'm like, we're in IMAX now. Now we're not. It's kind of like how 3D used to be, where it's like, get ready to put on your 3D glasses, like it would alert you, and then you're like, okay, because this is uncomfortable the rest of the time. It's just one of those things where I didn't get that excited about it. I appreciated it, but I was like, I can watch this at home, and it's not going to be the end of the world, sort of situation. So same thing with this. I mean, I would love to see Tenet in the theater, but I mean, if I can't go see it, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to watch it. Like, I look forward to watching it. For me, I'm sure the score is going to be fantastic, and I'm sure, like, it's just going to be a great experience altogether. And I would love to watch that in a movie theater, but we'll see, if and when that happens.
Yeah, I feel like there's a part of me that understands the directors going, I made this in 3D. I want you to see it in 3D because I engineered this to work best in 3D. Or same thing with IMAX or whatever. But there's a part of me that goes, is that a crutch?
Yeah.
Because, like, a good story should be a good story should be a good story. If it's dependent on you seeing it in a very specific format, I feel like, did you make a good story then, if it can't be viewed anywhere? Because I feel like a good story should be able to be viewed equally regardless of format.
I agree with you to a point. Like, I feel like there's a point where maybe it's something we haven't fully experienced yet, but there's going to be a way in which you will be able to further appreciate the story in something that's like a special. Like, I would love to see, I thought I read something where someone was either doing something with 3D that was pretty artistic, or maybe it was VR. I couldn't remember. But the idea of, like, how can we tell this story in a way that's really going to put you in that spot? Or, because there's been moments, I've said this numerous times, but 3D, I don't typically like it. I'm like, who gives a shit? It doesn't really do much for me. But there are times when I've been like, I understand the gravity of the situation because of the 3D. And the one thing I think of is such a random one, but this for some reason really stuck in my mind. The Amazing Spider-Man with
you've used this as an example a few
Andrew
times.
Garfield. It's the end of the movie. He has to get from where he is to like the end of like on the street, and when it's in 3D, you get to see how far he has to go. And I was like, Jesus, and he's beat up and he's hurt and he has to, and it's like, to me, I was like, that was a wonderful effect because as an audience member, I'm like, oh, holy shit, how's this guy going to make it? Whereas if you see it just in 2D, it's like, yeah, sure, that looks like it's far, but it added a layer to me where I was like, whoa. And sometimes like, I don't know, it kind of gets lost, but like if you think about Star Wars in 3D, you can actually see the depth of space or things like that. It can sometimes add an element, but it was more just sort of superficial to me. It wasn't anything that was like, I have to see this in 3D. I was like, I have to see it in 3D because this is the time that I want to see it at, and this is the only thing that's available. Right. So it didn't mean that much to me.
I think the last film I saw in 3D, I believe, was Gravity, the Sandra Bullock vehicle.
Yeah.
And I'll say that it didn't enhance the story for me at all. But what I will say is that it did give me a sense, to your point about space, it gave me a stomach churning sense of how like far away from Earth you are. Like, because there was one shot of her repairing something and it was an over the shoulder and you saw Earth in the distance and you got an actual dimensional depth of, it's not just this flat image of, astronaut in space. You saw that there was legitimate space behind her. And I remember sitting in the theater and going, oh boy, I could not do this.
You don't like heights either.
And, I hate them. Yeah. So space, heights, death, and spiders, all things. And in a way, they all relate. 3 of those lead to the last one. So space, height, and spiders can lead to death.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
I don't like it already.
All right. Hot seat for you, Justin. You have to spend 24 hours with one of those 3 fears. So you're either hanging out very tall building on just a little ledge, 24 hours. You're dangling from a cord.
I'm sleeping up there.
Yep. You're just like, I mean, hey, can you sleep? I don't know. We'll find out. You're dangling from a cord from a space station in space, or you have to spend a room.
So I'm not, time out. So I'm not even in the space station.
Mm-mm.
I am in a suit that has enough oxygen for my time out, my spacewalk, and I'm setting a world record for longest spacewalk. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Or you're in a room. I don't know.
My pulse is legitimately raising right now.
Or you're in a room. I'm trying to decide. I mean, what makes sense? What's fair here? Is it a medium-sized spider? Is it a cat-sized spider? Is it a? I mean, what do you think? Like 24 hours, and I mean,
Or is it a room of well, remember the last question round we did? Like, is it a like that girl who had the deal breaker one?
Yeah.
Is it the room of spiders?
Yeah, I mean, does it freak you out that they're in their terrariums? I mean, is that enough to set? You have to hang out in there for 24 hours? Like, it'll probably be okay for 24 hours, but what if one of them gets out? Like, are they smart enough? Have they unionized? I mean, like, what's happening here? I don't know. Like.
No.
So I'll let you decide. I mean, what I want to make it somewhat realistic. I don't want to be like, there's an 8-foot spider and you're hanging out in the room with it, or whatever. But like, also at the same time, it's not like I'm in this big bedroom and there's a daddy long leg in here somewhere. You know what I mean? So,
I don't like what Jared just said. Give Justin a couple huntsman spiders.
No.
They won't bite, but they're big and they like the gallop. I don't know what the gallop is.
Nope. Huntsman spiders.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, these guys are a real problem. I've seen plenty of videos of these guys. Woo! Yeah, they are big.
You posted a link to an image?
Yes.
Oh, God damn it.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yep. We'll just see if maybe they like 2 gallop, he says. They like 2 gallop.
I don't like anything about this.
I don't
God
think
damn
that's
it.
gonna work. I'm gonna try and.
Here's the thing. If they were in a terrarium, I would spend 24 waking hours in there.
He's right. Just hold your hand up to your face. That's the size.
All right, I'm gonna click this, and you guys
Yeah.
are gonna see someone have a panic attack in real time. All right, this is not. No.
Yeah.
No.
That's also pretty good for scale. If you see how big that thing is, like that thing is.
No.
For the listeners.
No.
For the listeners.
No.
I sent him a picture. It's essentially it's covering about the corner, the entire corner of like a window, like a glass. It's either a door. I mean, this thing is like. Jared is pretty right. Put your palm up to your face. That's about the size of this thing.
That's not big enough. Your palm on your face is not big enough.
Yeah. So they won't bite, but they like to gallop. So let's stick with this since we're on this one. All right. So you have to hang out in a room with the huntsman spider for 24 hours. You have to hang out.
In a terrarium?
No, he's in the room.
He's just hanging out in the room, free balling.
Yeah. So there's a bed, okay? So you can hang. Oh my God. Jervis says you can find them on your sliding doors in the morning. They're a nice little wake up in the morning. You are too calm about this, Jared. You are too calm, sir. You are too calm.
Australian, Doug. This is what they do.
This is
what they do. They can't beat emus, but they fucking hang out with gallop spiders.
That's right. All right, let's check our posture real quick. Make sure that we're good, Make sure we're doing good.
Dab again, too?
Yep, we're going to have to cash in on a dab. We're going left?
We're going left again. 3, 2, 1.
I realize this is like the first time I've ever dabbed. The second time now. So, hooray!
Oh, boy. What I don't like watching is the playback in Twitch when that happens.
I love it.
Jared, stop talking about these spiders. I'm going to kick you out of the chat.
We have the power to do that.
I don't like this.
Justin, okay, here's the deal. All right, so
Jared,
what is it?
We've already lost one viewer to the stream. Stop talking about the spiders.
So here's the thing.
I blame you.
All right, you're dangling from the space station for 24 hours. You're on a ledge of a building for 24 hours, or you're in your current bedroom. There's a huntsman spider in there somewhere, and you got to stay in there for 24 hours. Which one do you pick?
Real quick, I never knew. So, is this it's an Australian black widow? You guys call them redbacks. We call them black widows. That's interesting.
Redback sounds like a racist term, but that's fine. Okay.
Well, what about? So that's only 3 of my 4 fears, Doug. Like, what about death? I have to hang out with death for 24 hours.
Well, what I'm saying is that any one of those could lead to death. So So what do you think, man? Which one do you pick? 24 hours. Which, pick your poison, sir. Pick your poison.
Jesus. Man. I don't. Okay, let's talk this through.
Let's break it down for us.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to go with space, and here's why.
Okay, lay it on me.
Oh, man, this makes me so anxious just thinking about it. So I feel like I'm going to go with space, and here's why. With the spider, I don't know what that thing's going to do. I don't have control over it. I can't rationalize with it. I can't be like, hey, man,
can't negotiate
you stay
with
in
it.
that corner. I'll stay in my corner. Let's just hang out. How about that, right? Do you play backgammon? You want to play cards? What are we doing? That doesn't work with these spiders. I'm assuming. I have not boned up on the Wikipedia page. A ledge, I have very minimal control with that as well because I'm standing / sitting on a teeny tiny little ledge. Mm-hmm. If wind happens, goodbye. Mm-hmm. No bueno. Also, you got that vertigo thing where you look down and you're totally fine, but you lose your balance and maybe I tip over. I don't want to risk that. Mm-hmm. Space, I have to assume that NASA or SpaceX has sent me up there, right? Mm-hmm. So I've been given potentially adequate training. I've got...
No, you're a tourist. You're a space tourist. That's what you are in this scenario.
A space tourist?
Mm-hmm. You're a space tourist.
All right.
You're not saving the world from an asteroid or anything like that.
Fair enough. Even if I'm a space tourist, I have to assume that the equipment I'm using has been given to me by some reputable organization, right? So I'd like to think that this equipment has been vetted. It's of high quality. I'm gonna assume this is the artistic part I'm putting on the scenario. I have spotters inside who are watching me and
here's the thing. There's spotters, but there's also spiders inside too.
Spiders.
Space spiders. No.
I don't like it.
So yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
If that's the case, I'm doing space. I don't like it, but I'm doing space.
Because here's the thing too. This is a long enough cable that you're on that if something were to happen, there's no way you're getting back in. Like, I want to be clear with this. Like, this umbilical cord you're on, it's like, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 feet. Like, it's just way out there. So if it were to snap, you're not going to be like, oh, I can grab on. No, you're nowhere near like this thing. It's like you're parasailing in space. So.
Oh, I hate this so much. All right, spider. I'm doing the spider.
Oh my God, you go with the spider. Okay.
Because two reasons. One, apparently they don't bite. I'm hearing this. So push comes to shove, I'm swinging at this thing.
Cool.
All right? And I can stay awake for 24 hours. I've done it before. I can do it again.
You feel like the adrenaline would keep you awake?
And I'm going around the edge of the wall. I'm keeping my eye on this son of a bitch.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So I'll go with the spider. Again, don't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the spider.
I don't like it.
Don't like it.
Not one bit.
Making me happy. The thing is, I don't know enough of your true fears to do this to you. I know your dislikes. I know you dislike onions vehemently. I know you dislike salad. I know you dislike 8-year-old boys on playgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what you fear. Except boat purchases. I don't know. What do you fear?
I don't fear them. They're just a bad idea.
Oh, my God. Jared, Doug is a real man. He has no fears. Well, I'm not going to. Never mind. That was even. I'm censoring myself.
I'm the fat daredevil who can see. Cash in points for spit take. Here we go.
I'm the fat daredevil that can see who has low T. And no, I won't take a pill for it. Fuck you. It's
no.
what God wants.
Because you know what? My dick was going to stop working at some point. It's fine. It's fine now. Adios. Nope, not anymore. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Jared, we need that on the soundboard. Yeah, we do.
Oh, my God.
So speaking of the soundboard.
Hold on. What are your fears? Give me something.
I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Fine. Speaking of the soundboard. See how quickly I let that go.
Like, fine. I mean, we'll get to it. I'm not afraid to talk about my fears. So we had another wonderful suggestion from a fan who had a topic suggestion, so we figured this would be a good thing to talk about. So, Justin, play that soundboard clip.
Hey, guys. I'm wondering if either of you have ever had what I'd like to call a soundtrack moment in your life. And this would be you're listening to a radio and a song comes on. And not that it reminds you of something that's happened in the past, but could actually be the soundtrack to what is happening in your life right that second or right that minute. The example that always comes to mind for me was going through my second divorce and thinking I would never, ever get over it, never, ever feel the same. And slowly but surely, I started feeling better. And one of the days when I finally was really putting it behind me, Aerosmith's song Amazing came on. And I just went, wow, that could be playing right now if this was a movie in my life. Let me know what you think.
Okay. Who else here in chat, chime in here, who thought he was going to say the song that could play was Taylor Swift's Never Ever Gonna Get Back Together? Like, that's totally... Like, he said never ever like twice. I'm like, oh, he's totally going to say Taylor Swift. Like, we're never ever getting back together. Like, that was
really gave me some closure.
100% what he was going to say. without a doubt. Like, that's what I thought. I'm like, and he's like, no, Aerosmith. I'm like, wait, what? No.
Wait, no, Taylor Swift. I fucking love that.
That's hilarious. That's a great question.
Would be just like Hank to listen to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it would be. He's a man of all ilks. That's the right word,
yes.
right?
Yep, absolutely. So I will say this too for anyone listening. Haig has sent 2 of these in to us, and they've both been fantastic. Any one of you out there listening on Twitch, on any of the podcast apps, viewers, listeners alike, if you guys want to, record yourself asking a question or giving us a prompt on your phone and send it to us. You can send. We have an email. Doug, it is
mindgappodcast@gmail.com.
So send it to that email. If you can figure out how to send it via social media, do that. Probably email's better. But yeah, you can. If you have our phone numbers, text it to us. Whatever, just get it to us, and we will we'll play it if you've got a good one. I know we have some creative people out there, so we want to hear what you have to say. I was thinking about this prompt, and the one that comes to mind immediately is actually when Beth and I were first kind of dating. We were still, without going too far into it, we were unofficial, and I might have been seeing someone else at the time.
Gotcha.
So I had a decision to make on, do I continue with my current relationship, or do I cut that and I go with this new relationship that seems to be forming? And I was kind of weighing this over and over and over, and I finally got Beth asked me the question, just no pressure, but she was like, hey, when are we, or will we ever become a we? And I went, okay, so it's decision time. And I was thinking it over and over and over. And my favorite, Glenn Hansard, he came on. I think at the time I had a iPod Shuffle or whatever it was. And Glenn Hansard came up, and it was a song called When Your Mind's Made Up. And I was listening to the song, and I went, oh, okay, I got it. And it was like, I'm fighting, because with the chorus is, when your mind's made up, there's no point trying to fight it. And I was like, okay, I get it, universe. Okay. And so for me, I was like, this literally could be that scene in the movie where, like, it's a quick cut montage of me, like, at the grocery store, thinking at the park, sitting on a park bench. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I get up and I run to the person I choose. So that was definitely one that I was, as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's that moment for sure.
Mine's really dumb. Really dumb. I remember it very vividly because it was like very out of body experience when it was happening. But I think there's probably only one person in the chat who's gonna get this. But I think it was sixth grade. I was playing, I think, sixth grade basketball. And I was playing against this team who was like, we were in a tournament and they were just like better than us. And like, we knew, like, we were doing pretty well, but we had a feeling that when we played them, we would lose. And as I was playing the game, at the time, the video game Final Fantasy III was released in the United States. It's Final Fantasy VI abroad from Japan. Makes sense, right? And there was this particular theme song that played during one of the boss battles towards the end of the game. And as I was playing, and we were like, kind of like, dueling this team, like, this epic boss battle music started playing in my head. Like, it was very much like, oh, I'm like, I don't think we're gonna beat them, guys, and we didn't. But it was like this like silly moment where I'm like, I'm fighting this enemy, and this music literally kicked on in my head as we were playing a sport. We were playing something, and I was like, I'm like, oh, I can hear it in my brain as we're fighting. It was really ridiculous. So when he shared that with me, I'm like, that's what popped in my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, it's nothing like, yeah, so I was about to make love to this lady, and Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing came on, and like, or whatever.
Came too early.
Came too early. Like, yeah, it was nothing like that at all. It was just like, oh yeah, that thing happened. So
yeah. Did we get checked again? God damn it. Okay.
Posture check, y'all.
Posture check.
Posture check.
I will say too that anytime there are certain songs, Stevie Wonder songs typically have anything from the album Songs from the Key of Life have like that the very kind of like dun 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 dun, like it's a very moving rhythm.
Mhm.
So anytime you're listening to that and it comes on and you're on the street, it doesn't have anything to do with your life other than you're walking at that moment, and you cannot help but sync up to that rhythm
Yeah.
and feel like you're in a movie, like the opening to Saturday Night Fever, where you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm a cool motherfucker. I got this. Like
Yeah.
you're walking down the street and you're like, everyone should see me right now because I'm pretty badass.
Yeah, I'm trying to oh boy.
Why would you put this on here? Come on, Doug.
We'll get to that. I promise.
How are you even going to see us do this?
We'll get to that. It's for my own personal health. In case anyone's listening, someone wants us to do 10 push-ups or sit-ups. So we will be doing that momentarily. But DCock84 goes, "We will know." Hey, if I'm gonna be sitting in front of this thing, I want to get some, I want to get some activities,
Doug, we need to discuss what is good for a podcast and what is good for...
I agree. No, I'm not saying we do that regardless, the bill comes due and
these will be honored.
These will be honored, all right? So we'll know when you come back up all sweaty. I'm already sweaty.
It's right. Yeah, that's not a tell.
We're going to check my pit sweat levels. I mean, they're about the same. So, which is hilarious.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to think of another time. Like, obviously I have albums or songs that I listen to during trip, what's the word I'm thinking of? Very, telling times now, important times. I don't know, something like, I remember the album, Why Do They Rock So Hard by Real Big Fish was really big for me in like early high school.
Okay.
Oh shit! Thank you, Sirloin, for the 500 bits, man. Very, very, very kind of you. Thanks, man. You're so kind, y'all.
Sirloin in the house.
I remember, there was definitely like, there's, I think we talked about this before. Like, there's certain like albums and songs that like I just can't listen to, like, because it will take me back to a time that I don't necessarily want to go back to, and it's very like I will time travel when I listen to those, or because I was listening to them at a very particular time in my life where something happened, and I'm like, oof, if I listen to that again, I'm gonna go back there, and I don't think I can, and so I think some of those things could kind of come in that same vein of what's kind of like a soundtrack for your life at that time, like, because it's also it's almost like confirmation bias. Depending on what's going on, you can find a song that you feel like relates to everything that's going on. Like when when my good friend Jeff passed away when I was 25, like pretty much every song just had something to do with that. I remember listening to a song by Weezer that had that, but the one big one for that was Dashboard Confession, not Dashboard Confessional. It was Death Cab for Cutie, Follow You Into the Dark. Like that song was purely about death, and Jeff had played that song to me shortly before he died, and so it was like, I have a hard time. And then I heard that song in a Scrubs episode, which was also one of my favorite episodes of Scrubs, and I was like, fuck, like that song just holds a lot of weight for me, and I almost don't want it to, because I feel like it has this sort of power over me, and it comes on, I'm like, I go places, and I'm like, I don't necessarily want to go there.
That's hard when it puts you in that kind of headspace.
Yeah, it's almost like, I think Sirloin will probably get this one, but like listening to Good Charlotte or something will also take me back to a time where I'm like, I used to like this music. Like a lot. Like I went to their concerts. Like, oh man, yeah. I look at that stuff. I'm like, ooh boy, that takes me someplace. And I don't know if I want to go there either, because this is embarrassing music to listen to.
I definitely have songs that will take me to certain places, or certain moments in time, very similar to like how a smell will.
Yes.
They say like the olfactory sense is like one of the strongest to trigger memories, and I know music for me, certain songs definitely have that. Like I was a big Dave Matthews fan in high school, and there's one Dave Matthews song that brings me back to a very specific singular point in high school. One day, one afternoon, it was raining outside. I can see it clear as day in my mind's eye. And
what was the song?
It's I can't remember the name. It's not. Is it?
It's called.
Oh my God!
It's Ducks Fucking, right?
It's not Crash Into Me. It's
Ducks Fucking.
I think it's yeah. Hold on.
Hold on. He's got to look up the song that was so powerful. I'll take him to a very moment. He doesn't know what it's.
The thing is, I don't remember Dave Matthews has a lot of songs. I know this.
Okay.
I know the sound of the song. I think it was number 41.
Does it go, hey, hey, hey?
Yes, that's the one. What is that one? You know what it was? It was.
There it is.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad we were able to license Dave Matthews for this podcast. And I was like, hey to me, and I into you.
No, I think it was number 41.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah.
Sure, was it number 5?
No idea. By what was it? Slurmy Butts? What was the name of the sludgy hand jobs? What was it?
I'm sorry. Slurmy Butts that's got to be someone's name. That's got to be someone's screen name. That's got to be a character name in one of our video games. Slurmy Butts. Someone write that down. That's definitely something that whoo. The name of the band was The Spotlight, and their album was called Slug Love. So
Slug Love. That's what I meant.
Slurmy Butts.
Slurmy Butts.
Ooh, boy, I just got all sorts of visuals with that. Like, that was just a dripping, wet, nasty butthole is what I got when you said Slurmy Butts. That's not even on the soundboard. That was just real sound effect right there.
That was just the J-Man making it happen.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Slurmy Butts. What is that, the number? Does number 5 take it? Because you and I were talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
Does number 5 take you back somewhere?
It does. It took me back someplace good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm Creole or what I am there, but
oh boy,
that was like Crawdad Man from The League. It's like,
it really was.
We gotta keep them separated. They're gonna eat themselves. They're gonna eat themselves. Like, yeah, that it was this band called The Spotlight, very just barely known band, college band that I think I found them when I was working for ASCAP, when I was just trying to find artists to get signed up and things like that, and I really fell in love with them, and they had this song called Number 5, and it was really cool, really enjoyable. The whole album I think is really well done. It's just a band that unfortunately just didn't go anywhere after that, and literally before I started this, I was like, what was the name of that band? I couldn't remember their name. I remember the song was called Number 5. I'm like, well, that doesn't help, because when you type Number 5 into YouTube, you get the Number 5 for kids. You get Mambo Number 5.
There's quite a few things out there.
Yeah,
with the name Number 5.
There's like just something called Chinese Special Number 5. Like, it is what it is. And then I was like, I remember the album name, which was Slug Love, and then I was like, oh, I'll type Slug Love in, and it's like The Spotlight. I'm like, that's what it is. Got it. So I reversed engineer it. That was a boring story, but you're welcome. Fuck you guys. Oh man.
Yeah. There's another song by Slurmy Butts that every time I hear it, it takes me back to a very special time in my life. Oh, what is this? Is that someone blowing a bubble?
It's a Twitch cop.
Awesome. Throwdown.
Ooh. Ooh, ooh.
I'll say, Dave Cochran, thank you for giving us that lead in. That could not have been more perfect.
I love
Today's Throwdown. I wonder if we could redeem. Could we set up a thing where someone can redeem points to pick the Throwdown?
Yes, we could absolutely do that.
That
would be really cool.
Look for that coming soon.
Yes, 100%.
Maybe. Anyway, today's Throwdown. There's a couple things that we mentioned. I definitely was thinking, we could do that one big stupid spider versus something, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to think about him anymore. For some reason, I came up. Blade came up for me in
Again,
something
huh?
the other day. What's that?
Again, you like Blade.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds in Blade 3.
Mm-hmm.
But not against Morbius, not against anyone like that. I'm thinking this time we do Blade versus Hellboy.
Oh boy, I don't know if I know enough about these guys other than
Jared, you're at strike 2. You get 2 more. That's it, and then you're out of here.
Jared said Justin versus a huntsman spider. I mean, I think Justin would win because they don't bite. So, I mean,
And I do. Look, if you're tired of Blade, we can go.
No.
elsewhere. We can do Widow if you want to do Spiders verse. No.
No,
Right.
Blade versus Hellboy. I like that one.
How about Beast versus Hellboy if you don't want to do Blade?
No, I like Blade versus Hellboy. Let's stick
All right.
with it.
All right. Cool.
So Blade is obviously strong versus vampires. Hellboy's not a vampire.
Very, very true. Blade possesses superhuman strength, stamina, speed, agility, heightened senses, and a rapid healing factor that attacks any alien substances in his body.
Cool. So it can't be poisoned, basically.
Yep. He's a master of martial arts, skilled swordsman, marksman, fighter, throwing knives. He's knowledgeable about vampire lore as well as the supernatural. So that might aid him against Hellboy.
I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, there might be a loose connection there. What about Hellboy?
Hellboy.
Or anyone in the chat, feel free
He
to
possesses
fill us with knowledge on these two.
superhuman strength, of course, because everyone has it, that exceeds the 1-ton base limit, endurance, degree of resistance to injury, and a healing factor that allows him to heal quickly from virtually all bodily injuries. He's got the innate ability to comprehend ancient and magical languages. His power, his actual strength it varies depending on who's writing for him. He has survived being impaled through the chest with a sword, severe werewolf mauling, has been beaten unconscious with heavy iron tongs, fallen from extreme heights, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Bunch of other shit. He's got the right hand of doom.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Which is just a fancy way of saying that's his jerk-off hand.
what are you doing tonight? Just hanging out with my right hand of doom. So I'm thinking. So I feel like Blade has an advantage here based on his agility and things of that nature, but I don't think he can outright kill Hellboy, but I think he can do significant damage. I think the one thing that stuck out to me was just that Hellboy's ability to regenerate quickly. Yes. I think was pretty powerful, but what's to stop Blade from just cutting his head off, you know what I mean? Other than the right hand of doom, but you know.
He just turns it and starts giving him a reach around.
Like,
yeah. Blade's like, I had no idea. Yeah, it's an interesting, because I feel like with Blade, I just feel like Hellboy is so big. He's just got such like mass to him that Blade being part man, part vampire, I just don't think is going to stand a chance against what Hellboy can the hellfire he can rain down.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I know I've seen both movies of Hellboy. Actually, I haven't seen the third one, the most recent one. But I mean, I know that it's like if he gets his horns reattached, he basically heralds the doom of the world. I think that's what he's known for. I mean, he's fought guys that are pretty agile and pretty powerful, and he's survived. I mean, he's killed interdimensional beings and hellacious beings and stuff like that. I mean, he's very resilient. And I think Blade has obviously killed just countless vampires, but I feel like that's his wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I do too. Yeah, and I mean, I know
he rolls advantage against vampires, if you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, both of them are strong, but based off of what we're reading here, and what we've seen, and what we're reading from Hellboy, he has picked up and thrown opponents weighing at least 400 to 500 pounds. He's also torn down a large tree and hurled it at an opponent. I don't think I've ever seen Blade tear out a tree and sling that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, yes, he's strong, but I just think Hellboy's got, I don't know, he's got that hand of doom.
Yeah.
It's interesting me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling that Hellboy.
Apparently, it is a catalyst that will also bring about Ragnarok. So
Jervis says, I think Hellboy would win because Blade would refuse to open his eyes and need them to be CGI'd open.
Fair.
Now,
All Hellboy has to do is just rain down sunlight. Just vitamin D and Blade's done.
Well, Blade can walk. He's a day walker. So
that's true.
He has all the benefits and none of the drawbacks of being a vampire. So I don't know. For some reason, I have no objective thing for this, but I'm giving my advantage to Hellboy on this one.
Yeah, I do. Again, Doug and I are operating with half knowledge on both of these characters, but I think based off of what I know from the movies that I've seen and the limited amount that I've read about each character, I gotta give it to Hellboy. I think he's just got it.
If you guys think otherwise, hit us up on our social medias and let us know, or Twitch, light us up, whatever you want to do.
But we're saying Hellboy for the win!
That's right, everybody. Hellboy for the win. Hooray! That was my Irish accent.
Spotless. Just beautifully
Spotless.
done. Spotless.
Wow, that was fun, man. That was a great episode. Thank you for sharing your 4 greatest fears, and playing along. I know.
Yeah.
And Jared, thank you for suggesting the Huntsman Spider, and thank you all for playing along with all the fun stuff in the chat and everything. And for the record, we are still going to redeem these push-ups / sit-ups. My idea is that as we're playing out, we will do them for the Twitch chat. We'll end the recording and we'll do it for the Twitch. We'll do it. I didn't forget, Jervis. We'll do it for the Twitch. All right. Lies. Before we go, I just want to say, again, thank you to everybody for everything. You guys are great. Thank you for all this. This is so much fun. Thank you for the folks that subscribed. Thank you, Sirloin84, for the bits. This is wonderful. And, of course, we should talk about things that we want to recommend. So, Justin, why don't we start with you? Since you're a terrible person, go ahead.
Yeah. I am no monster. I recommend very heavily Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the movie version. I think the series is dog shit, and I think if you really want to, intimately know the story, you need to watch the M. Night Shyamalan movie version. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, have you seen it, Justin?
No. Should I?
And the only reason why he suggests this because I said my recommendation is Avatar: The Last Airbender because it's now on Netflix. I got my daughter just for fun. I was like, "Hey, do you want to watch this?" She was like, "Sure," and she is hooked. And it's been so much fun because this is a show I actually give a shit about that she actually likes to watch. I'm like, "Yes, let's watch this." I'm like going like, "Hey, if you could bend any element, which one would you want to do?" She's like, "I want to do fire." I'm like, "I would want to do I want to bend farts, Dad." But it's been really fun rewatching the show. Seriously, like, if you guys have not seen it, it's a Nickelodeon show. The first couple episodes, they feel like it. But I gotta say, like, if you just get through probably the first 3 or 4 episodes, you're gonna get hooked. And you're gonna see probably some of the best character arcs in any show, hands down. Holy shit, Variety, XC. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very kind of you.
Wait.
Thank you for the 1,500 bits. That's awesome. Thank you, man. You're going to see some of the best character arcs. Like, there's episodes that I get choked up on. And I'm like, God damn it, this is a Nickelodeon cartoon. Like, so good. It's 3 seasons. You know exactly where it's going. And it's fantastic. It's wonderful storytelling. It's absolutely wonderful. Check it out. It's on Netflix now. You won't be disappointed. We can do a whole episode on it. Justin, I challenge you to watch this show. Watch it
You
with
and
Beth.
Bellucci have both challenged me.
I'm willing to bet Beth would like it too, honestly. I bet you
All right.
she'd enjoy it. So it's
All right.
got a really cool story to it. So I think you'll enjoy it.
We'll give it a shot. If I could be real for a moment, a real recommendation is if you look up on YouTube, just look up James and the Giant Peach. Taika Waititi is doing readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of like 3 chapters of every posture check. He's doing readings every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, about 3 chapters an episode, and he has wow, a lot of posture checks coming in. He has different celebrity guests happening each time. So they'll join him on a Zoom call, and they'll each read a part of the they'll like someone will be the caterpillar, someone else will be the grasshopper. Taika is usually the narrator, and James. And they're a lot of fun, and it's a good book. If you've never read the book, it really is a good book. And they're raising money for the Roald Dahl Foundation. Or no, they're raising money, and then the Roald Dahl Foundation is going to match whatever they raise. Something like that. They're doing good stuff. The latest one had Ryan Reynolds on it, and it was just a treat to watch. So definitely check it out. And then also, I will say I've been really enjoying Masterclass. So if you guys have ever thought about pulling the trigger on it, if they've got a free option, do it. We got the one, Chris Vellucci and I went in on the buy one gift one. So I paid for a full year membership, gifted it to him. He paid me half the cost, and now we each have a membership for half the cost for a year. It's really good. So if you've ever been interested in anything artistic or, just they have everything from, you go look it up. They've got a ton of shit. It's
for sure.
To me, it's a worthwhile investment. So
Variety XZ, thanks for the sub, man. Really appreciate it. We'll return the favor, I promise. And congrats to you, sir, for becoming an affiliate on Twitch as well. That's awesome work, man. Huzzah. Huzzah for you. Way to go. Wow. Lots to do, guys. Lots to hang out. Lots to check out. Don't forget twitch.tv/MindGapPodcast. We are here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central to record our podcast episodes. And Saturday night's video game night. And again, this week on Saturday, we're going to be playing One Troll Army, where I'm going to be playing a troll defending a goblin village. You guys come and basically try to wreck my village. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Again, I haven't tried it out yet, so it could be a complete shit show, but come hang out, test it out with me. It should be fun. You guys can essentially try to beat my ass, which you probably will. So we'll make it entertaining. We'll make it fun. Also, don't forget to check us out on our social medias at MindGap Podcast. Check out our YouTube channel. Friday said, I'll wreck your village. Thank you, sir.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to sneak in through the back gate, and I'm going to wreck that motherfucking village.
You going down?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't see that coming. Never do.
Yep. You're welcome.
Check out our YouTube.
Your butt.
Check out our YouTube. Check out our YouTube page. That's where we post all of our episodes as well as highlights from our Twitch streams. We got another great one coming up from Joke Boat from last Saturday. It's a real filthy one, guys. You all did great. Very, very proud of you all. So check us out on all those areas. And also, don't forget, we do also have merch, too, if you guys want to check it out. If you're on Twitch, just head straight down in the panels down below. You can find a link to our merch page. We just have regular Mind Gap t-shirts there right now, but we are going to be expanding that. I'm coming up with some unique designs as we speak, so we'll be flashing that stuff out. So feel free to pick one of those up if you're so inclined. And thank you all for supporting the podcast. These bits, these subscribes, they mean a lot to us. We're just getting started, and it's going to be really cool as we get things rolling. So thank you so much for that. And also, don't forget to follow Justin on his social medias as well.
That's true. Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on Apple Podcast, on Stitcher, on
Spotify,
and on Google Podcast, wherever you find and consume the podcast. Give us a subscribe there, rate us, review us, share us around. The big one is sharing. That means so much to us. Just copy the link wherever you find us, share it out to someone you think would be interested, or just post it on your social media in general. A recommendation from someone goes a long way. And then 2east8th.com/mindgap, and then 2east8th.com in general. And also check out 2east8th.com/short script contest. We've got the script contest going through mid-June, and we are also going to be we're working with Smoose Entertainment. It's a co-production with our good buddy Adam Smeestad. We're doing a quarantine special project. So be on the lookout for that. Good things coming down the pipe.
Hell yeah! So, to all of our Twitch users and viewers, I want to say thank you.
And I want to say to our listeners who have listened from the very beginning, and even the new ones, thank you.
And to Justin, I shall say thank you, sir.
And to Douglas, your beautiful, large, sweaty, bald head, thank you.
Awesome. So, I got lost. You all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.